Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to do a full face of makeup using Kbeauty products. Now this video is going to be a haul/try on. I personally have not tried a lot of Kbeauty products, surprisingly, except for the Missha BB cream that I did a review on, which I will link down below. Recently I purchased a new shade because the shade that I was using was Honey Beige and it was a little bit too light for my skin tone, so I purchased a new shade which is in golden beige, and if you're curious, this is what the packaging. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. So I'm just gonna do my usual makeup routine. Instead, I'm going to use Kbeauty products. I don't have a primer from them, surprisingly enough. Well, at least the website that I shopped on. So instead, I am going to start my face with this Perfect Makeup Fixer, and this is the setting mist from Too Cool for School. And I heard Shan EXO talk about this. So this is what it looks like. It comes in like a aerosol spray can. And the mister is very fine. So I'm just... Ooh, that actually feels good to the skin. It reminds me of the Avene water spray or thermal spray, and it feels very cooling. I feel like if you put this in the fridge, it will feel a lot cooler, and it will definitely soothe your skin. Now as you can see, I have a lot of eczema flare up. Excuse my neck because I just can't help it. I have also some in here and just all over. So I've already primed my face with my own primer. So we are going to start with the eyes, I guess. So for concealer, I have this Dr. Jart liquid concealer, and this is in the shade number 2. They only have 2 shades, 1 and 2, and this is supposedly medium. So it says that it's supposed to cover dark circles and do a spot treatment. The box actually feels like one of those recyclable paper, and this is what the packaging. I love that it's like very different. It's clean because usually Kbeauty products, their packaging is very cute and like very kid-like, but this one is very sophisticated, and the doe foot applicator is huge. So I'm going to prime my eyes with that. Also, I tried on an orange eyeshadow. That's why my eyes is a little bit red and stained. The concealer is very thick, like very thick, and it dries pretty quickly, so I don't know how this is going to work with my under eyes because my under eyes is quite dry, and it smells like herbally, I guess, because it can treat like spots as well. That's probably why. But that's actually good. It concealed the redness and staining that I had on my lids. It's kind of blendable, but I feel like it kind of tugged my skin a little bit. So for eyeshadow today, I have this Etude House eyeshadow, and this is in Cold Brew Latte. This is what it looks like. So I actually love anything caffeine. So on the website, this was described as a caffeine holic eyeshadow palette. I love the packaging. It's very compact, and it comes with a mirror, and this is what the shade looks like. So it comes with a plastic slip, and the shades are more on like a warm tone brown side. I actually love this shade right here. It's so pretty. And it comes with sponge applicators. I am going to set my lids first. I have this No Sebum moisture powder. Yeah, it has some sort of like tea tree scent to it. So I'm going to quickly set my my lids. I think there's 2 different kinds. The one that is on the green packaging, and this one is the moisturizer powder, which I actually need because I have a lot of dry patches. So that's pretty finely milled. It actually set my lids pretty quickly. So now we are going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to pick up this shade right here and blend that onto the lid. It has a little bit of fall out. A little bit powdery. So I'm just gonna fluff that all over my lids. I've noticed that Koreans, usually when they do their eyeshadow, they opt for more of like a wash of color. I'm going to pick up this shade right here with the same brush. Actually gonna with the same brush, and it's quite pigmented, so I'm going to put that on my crease and the outer V. Now that I think about it, I should have gotten the cooler tone shade. It's actually pretty pigmented. It's not like one of those eyeshadows where it's overly pigmented. This one has got enough pigment for you to blend. It's blendable and it shows up pretty good on the lids. I am going to pick up like a somewhat smaller brush and pick up this darker shade right here and just focus that mainly on the outer V and in the crease. And I'm going to go back and blend this shade with the brush that we used before. I want to add shimmer, but I'm actually torn which one. I kind of feel like I want to use this one, but at the same time, this shade right here is calling my name. That is very sheer. I feel like we'll go for this one. So what I am going to do is to actually pick up the sponge applicator because I feel like this will pack more color. And I'm going to pick up this shade right here. Is that even showing up? It's strange because on the eyeshadow palette itself, the shimmers look very promising, but when you actually apply it onto your lids, it looks more of like a wash of shimmer, and it's not as pigmented as I would hope it would be. Leave like a nice glare of shimmer as opposed to like having like a bam in your face glitter, which actually is not too bad. I'm just gonna quickly apply mascara and line my upper lash line. I didn't buy any mascara from the Kbeauty because once I find a good mascara, it's actually hard for me to use other mascara, and also the fact that I have really sensitive eyes. So yeah, I will be right back and we'll proceed on. So obviously I purchased a new shade of the Missha BB cream. This is actually great for oily skin. It lasts for a good amount of hours. I would say up to 7 hours. It doesn't feel heavy. It has SPF of 42. And I think they have, I would say, a good range. This is the deepest that I found, and I think they have about 6 or 7, which is really good for Kbeauty base products because usually they would only have like 3 or even just 1, a universal. So this is what it looks like. But before I apply that, I am going to actually try the Klairs Illuminating Supple Blemish Cream. And this has SPF 40 as well. It says here that this is like a illuminating supple, so it has a universal shade and it's supposed to kind of brighten your skin, make it look even, as well as protect it at the same time. So I thought that this would be a good base before we apply the Missha BB cream. I've actually have been trying to purchase this product, but it's usually out of stock. I guess people like it. So I do obviously have acne prone skin and I have oily skin, so I figured this would be a good like on the go base, and you get 40 ml of product, more than your average foundation. So it comes with a squeezy tube, which I actually really like, and it has a tint. So the tint is more neutral, going towards like a rosy beige. It smells like a moisturizer, and yeah, it's pretty light on my skin tone, but we will see. So I'm just gonna use whatever I have on my hand and try to apply that with my fingers. It says that it's supposed to adjust to your skin tone. So here is what half of my face looks like. My face is looking a little bit paler, which I'm guessing it's the brightening effect, but it definitely kind of covered the redness. It made my skin look a bit healthier. If you compare this side to this side is definitely more presentable. It didn't cover much, but it looks a little bit like I've eaten a lot of healthy food. I've slept for like 8 hours every day, whereas this one is very dull, very red. But I'm going to do the same on the other side of my face. So now for the base, I'm just gonna quickly apply my Missha BB cream, and this one is in the shade Golden Beige, and that's what it looks like. Ooh, that's a little bit pinker than I remember. I feel like Honey Beige has got more of like a yellow undertone, which is this one has got more of that peachy undertone. But I'm just gonna apply this using my hand. This is what my skin looks like after the BB cream. Obviously, if I didn't use the Klairs, what's this called? Illuminating Blemish Cream, the shade would definitely match me, because on my hand it looked pretty good on my skin tone, but because we have that rosy undertone, it kind of made it look more pink. For concealer, we're gonna go back to the Dr. Jart concealer and conceal underneath the eyes. So the formula of this concealer is a little bit like dry, so you have to really blend it real quick, and it's a bit tacky. I don't think this concealer is good for under eye. As you can see, it kind of stuck onto the areas where I basically apply it. So what I'm going to do is to actually apply my own concealer, and then we'll move on to the contouring part of this makeup tutorial. It did do a good job on covering my dark circle right here, but I just didn't like how it blended onto the skin. I'm just gonna quickly set my under eye just so we don't crease, and then I'll move on to the contouring. For contour, I have this Play 101 stick, and this is from Etude House, and this is the Contour Duo, and I actually love the packaging of this. So this is what it looks like. It has this highlighter shade which is matte. I don't think I'm going to use that because that's very pale, and my face is already all sorts of pale. But for a cream, it's actually really blendable. It dries fairly quick. So we are going to use the contour. Oh, thankfully it's a neutral shade. I was scared that it would be like this dark and will look very ashy and muddy on my skin tone. So I love the fact that it's slanted, so it's easy for you to get around the crevices of your face. So I'll apply that much. Pretty blendable, but I feel like it disappeared. So I'm going to add a little bit more. It kind of just blend into my skin. It created like a nice shadow in there, not too intense, not too over dramatic. It's just the right tone, but I feel like if you want to go ham, you have to really get in there to get the full pigmentation. I'm just gonna quickly set my face using the Innisfree Nose Sebum Moisture Powder. So that's what it looks like. It has a slightly beigey tint to it. I don't have any bronzer with me, so I'm just gonna quickly bronze my skin and apply a little bit of blush, and then we'll finish off our under eyes. So for the lower lash line, I think I'm just gonna stick with one color. So we're going to use this transition shade right here that we use, mix with this shade right here, just to cover the fine lines. And a little bit of mascara. For the inner corner highlight, I am going to pick up this shade right here, which is more of that rosy pink shade, or more copper. Mix in with a little bit of this shade right here. For the lips, I have this PeriPera Lip Tint Ink Airy Velvet Tint. So it's supposed to be like the moussey version of a traditional lip tint, which is more liquidy. This is what it looks like. I have the shade Cartoon Coral, and that's the shade right there. So I think what I'm going to do is to just dab a little bit on my lips and then blend it out with my finger. It has a more perfumey scent, and oh my god, it lives to the name Airy because it doesn't feel heavy. It feels very lightweight. It feels like a cloud on my lips, and it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Like it's already dried down, but I don't feel any tightness or any like tugging. And last but not the least, I'm going to spray my face one more time with this setting mist. Here is my final makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!